You're welcome to my channel, Mindset Academy, where we want to reproduce a figure that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen in isometric projection. Like I always tell you, the first thing you do when you're told to construct an isometric projection, you have to draw your isometric axis, right? You're going to draw your what? Your vertical axis, which is representing the y-axis this way, and you draw the x-axis this way, and you draw the z-axis this way. You can see that. Now if you look at the figure closely, you discover that the distance from here to here is representing the length of that given figure, which will be from here to somewhere around here, right? So which is given to be 100 also. So I'm going to measure 100 from this point here. I'm going to do what? Measure 100 from this point here. And this is the 100 here. From 0 to 10 is what? 100. You can see that. And the other width here is given to be what? From here to here, which is 70, right? Because this line and this line are parallel. So we say it is what? 70. So I'm going to measure 70 from this point. So this is 70. That again. And the total height here is given to be, we have from here to the center here is what of the circle is 52. Now we're told that the distance from this point to this point here is going to be 70. So it means that this circle you're seeing, this semicircle you're seeing now, is the half of the circle, which is 70. So the semicircle will be what? 35. So the diameter is 70. Why? Because the two ends of this semicircle is touching this figure here, right? These two ends from here to here is given to be what? 70. So automatically from the center here to this point here will be what? Will be 35. So you add 35 to 52, that will give us 87. Now if you read this inscription here, we are told that the boss is 48 millimeter diameter by 20 millimeter high. So the height of this shape you're seeing here is 20. So if I add 20 to 87, I'll be having what? 107. So I'm going to measure my total height to be what? 107. So from this point here, I'll measure 100 and what? 107. So this is from 0 to 10. Here is 100, 105, 106, 100 and what? 107. Now when I've done that, is that again? And I will just take my set square in this manner, and I'll project this point up, placing it on my t-square this way. You can see that. Let me place that on my t-square, and I'll project this point up. I'll move to the other ends too. I'll project this point up. You can see that. And I'm going to close it from here, just like what I did 30-degree in this way, another 30-degree here, as I've been doing in my previous video. Here also draw another 30-degree here, and I'll close it up from this point, right? So what I've done now is I have brought out the shape out in which I want to carve out the image that you're seeing at the right hand side of the screen, right? Now the next thing for me to start carving it out, first of all, I would like to subtract this 20 meter high here. I'll remove it, like, because we're told the entire height is what? is 107, and we are given that 20-meter eye, which we included in the figure. So I'm going to remove the 20-meter eye first of all, right? So let me remove that and see. Or better still, I'm going to make use of, I'll remove the 35 plus 52, which is 87. So let me remove the 87 first from the base here to more easier. So from this base here or here, any one of them you want to choose, I'm going to remove the 87, right? So if I do that, this is a 0, this is 80, and this is 85, 86, 87 here. You can see that? And I'll just remove it from this point. I remove this here. Just want to close it up. So I'll remove this here. Now if you look closely, from this end to this end here is this end to the other end, which I am going to tick in. You can see that I have taken it. Now the next thing I'm going to do here is I only brought this out, and the next thing I'm going to do here from this end to this end is this end to this end, which I am going to what also tick in. Oh, ticking it also, right? Now we're told that from here to here is 52, which will be from here to here, and that will represent the center of the circle you're seeing. So I'm going to measure 52. So from 0 to 52, this is 50, and this is what 52 here, right? And that is where I'll just transfer my point from this point to this point, meaning that this place will be the center of the circle that we need here, right? This is one of the center here. So what I'll do is I can easily take in from here to here, or I might just wait, or just take in it 52, and also from here to here another 52, right? Another 52. You can see that. Now there's a circle at this end here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the half of this circle here, this line here, the half. So if from here to here is 70, as you can see on my meter rule, so half of it will be 35. You can see that. So that's from here, that will be my center. So I'll just draw this outward this way, a vertical line representing the center. Let me make it more visible. Now you can see that. So this is where it is meeting. So that point, since the circle is touching the two ends here, as you can see in the figure, I'll just place my compass from here. This should be the center here. Right? So we have this. So from this end to this end is the same. So I'll just use the same radius I used here. I'll mark up, and you see mark down. You can see that. So we're much in track. So I'll take my set square. I'm going to draw this way. Draw a line here, and also come here also. So what do you notice? It has formed me a 4 point. So this is, let me say here is 1. This is another point here, 2. Here another point, and here another point, right? So I'll draw a line that will pass through the center. The line passing through the center from this point here. Then the line is intersecting. You can see that. Then I'll draw an arc, right? So the arc I'm going to draw, But before doing that, I'll just connect this point to this point. We're using what is called ordinate method to draw out this arc you're seeing. So if you want to understand how to construct ordinate method in isometric, you click on this link here to show you on how you can draw a circle in ordinate method, which will give you an ellipse. So ellipse in ordinate method. So after I've done this, I'll move this to this point. And I have this. You can see that? So it is meeting at this point and at this point. So the first curve that I'll be getting here will be this. I'll place my compass right at this point here. You can see, and I'll take it to this end here. Then I'll gauge it. From this point here, take it to this end here. So let's move that and see. We're taking it. Can you see that? And the next one is to get this curve here. I'll place it at this end here. Right? I'll take it to this point here. You can see that. So we have brought out the shape here, you see. Now the next thing that we should be doing is that there's a thickness there. There's another one here, you can see the thickness here, and that is given to be 10, as you can see. So this 10 you're seeing is uniform throughout this figure here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 10 from this top here, measure 10 here at this point, right? I'll take it down with the help of my instrument. I'll take that 10 down here this way, first of all. And I'll measure another 10 again from this point here, from 0 to 1. This is 10. And I'll close it up from here to here. You can see that. And I'll measure another 10 again from here to here. And I'm going to bring it down this way. Just faint line, first of all. You can see that. So the question here is, from this point to this point, is this point to this point, and that is thickened. So I'm going to thicken it. You can see that. Then at this point here, this will stop at this point here. This will stop at this point here, where this line meets this. And I should be able to do it at this other end here too, so that I can easily close it up. So this end here is this end here, right? And similarly, I'm going to do the same thing here too. Close here up, or better still, just draw this point you're seeing here. I'll draw it out. And I'll bring it out too. That is where I need. So what do you see I did here? Only brought out that same box, right? I brought out the same box here. So I brought out the same box, you can see. Now what I'll just do is I can actually tick in from this point here to this point as shown in the diagram. You can see and tick in from here to here. You can see that. Now the next thing is to draw this curve here. So I will not have to start doing all this I'm doing here. What I'll just do is I'll draw the diagonal, because I know that this point you're seeing from here, this point you're seeing from here, I'll just draw a diagonal from this point here to this other end here. You can see, and I'll transfer the point using my T-square and Z-square together. Transfer this point. You see, this point gave me this arc, so I want to transfer this point to the other point too, to give me the other arc I need, to this other line here in diagonal, because line in diagonal, so it will give me this arc. So what will I do? I will place it at this point here. You know, this line, this point gave me this arc, so this will give me the other arc I need. So what I'll just do is I'll place it here, and I'll take it to this end here. You can see that. Then I'll draw an arc. Now what will I do? I will just stop here. I will not complete it, because I can just join these two ends together here. You can see that. I'll just join these two ends there. So we have brought out this shape here that we need here. Now the next thing we are going to do is to draw the circle, the one inside here, right? So what I'll do here is just this. If you read closely, we're told that hole 50 millimeter diameter and 5 meter deep, right? So this hole here, the diameter of this hole is 50 millimeter. So what I will do is I will measure half of it, which is what, 25. On my meter rule, I'm going to take 25 from 0 is 25 here, right? And I'll place it at this point here. I'll mark up 25, left 25, down here 25, and right here 25. So I will now bring out the box, still the same ordinate method that we are working with. So I'll bring out the box. It is more easier when you start working with your instrument. So I'll bring out the box here this way. Bring out this box this way. Can see that? I'll bring out this box too on this line that I marked. On those points I marked here. And I'll close it up. And I'll close it up. Right? So what do you notice? We've gotten a fresh new point, this point here, this point here, and also around here. So what I'm doing should be inside here, right? So I'm going to repeat the same process I did using my ordinate method. So I'll connect this end point here to where I marked here, right? To where I marked here, to where I marked here, from here to this line here. You can see that. And also from here to here also. You can see that. So I've got a new point on that diagonal. This diagonal and this diagonal, right? So I'm going to use my compass, right? I'm going to use the compass. I'll place it at this point here, take it to this end here, and draw the circle that I need. This point here, and draw the circle I need. Can see that? And with the same, come here also, do the same thing, draw the circle out. You can see that? And I'll come to this diagonal here I marked here, take it to this end here, and I'll do the same thing to this diagonal here, right? I see that. And also to this diagonal here, this point here, I'll do the same thing. Then just place it there. You can see I have brought out that shape you can see there. So if I want to draw the drill you see here, now if you look closely again, you see that we're told there's another one in that is 5 meter deep. This circle you see is 5 meter what? 5 millimeter deep, right? So what I'll just do here is this. I'm going to take my meter rule from this end here, just take it in a little bit, right? Then I'll measure here also, do the same thing here, take it in a little bit, right? Even at this ending here too, take it in a little bit. Similarly at this ending here too, I'll take it in a little bit. So I'll measure that 5 millimeter deep. So take my meter rule, this is just the 5 millimeter deep here at this point here, right? Then I'll make it to form another box, right? I take it to form another box from here to touch here, then from the same point to touch down here, then from this same point here to touch the other end there, and from here to touch the other point here. You can see that I've gotten this other 5 millimeter deep, and I'll draw the diagonal again just like I've been doing presently. From here to here, I'll draw a diagonal here. This is the third diagonal that we have, right? So I just need the center diagonal which is 5 meter deep. Is that taken? Now from that end that I measured, right, I know very well that I'll not transfer my point. But before the same point I have here, because the same thing, I'll transfer this point from here to this point here. Since we are told it is what? 5 meter deep. I'll transfer it to this point here. Then I'll come here also, transfer it to this point here too. So we start constructing. So what I will do here is we know that no matter what we do, I can take it to this end here, right? Or before that, to know where I will stop. So no matter what I do, this point here will stop here, mark this, and this other point too will stop here, mark this. Here also, this line here will stop here, and this line here will stop here. So that is just my gauge here. So what I will just do, if I place it at this end here, I'll gauge it to that point I marked. Just faint line, This is where I'll stop. How good? Just the faint line from this point to the other point I marked here. Let me gauge it out very well. This point here to this point. You can use a faint line first, right? So just faint line first to get out that circle. Then at this other point here, I'll do the same thing from this point. Gauge it to this point here. So it's not going out. So just stop at this line here, right? Just stop at the center point here. So I can easily take in that aspect. But I know it heading through. I say that. Then the other one too, I'll come at the center point, which is this to this. I'll do the same thing here too. So I'll just stop here. You see that? Then let me come and taking this out. Since we know where we are ending. You can see that? So that is what we're doing there. Right? So we successfully brought out that 5-meter deep in here. Now the next we want to do is the drill. We're told we have a drill there, and the diameter of the drill there is what, 20 millimeter, right? So we have the drill is this small hole you're seeing in between, and we're told it's 20 millimeter. So I'll just take 10. I'll measure 10 meter on my meter rule. Where did I? So take and measure 10 this way, 0 to 10. I'll place at this point. I'll mark up, 10 up, 10 down, 10 to the left, and also 10 to the right. Under these 4 points you're seeing here, I'll draw a line across them to form a square, right? So I'll come here, I'll measure a square here. I'll come here also, I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'll close them up. Come here too, I'll close them up. So what I did, I'm going to do the same thing here. So let's come here. I'll draw this way. Careful. So draw this way. Then I'll draw from here to the other end here too. The same ordinate method that we're using. So look at where it's meeting at this point here. So it's from this point I am going to draw my circle from here to this point. From here to this point. Just that. Then same thing too from this end here to this end. I see that. Then from this point here, the diagonal to this point here. It's small, but we'll still do what we know how to do best. Right? Then here also, I'll do the same thing here. Sorry. So for that, look at what I'll bring out. So that's what we have here, right? And we are told there's which is how many meters deep in. That's the drill that we have, right? This is going in, and there's another one inside, which I will just not waste my time with it. I'll make use of a French curve to achieve that height. Right, we'll do there's another little one inside. So I can just do this peacefully. 5 meter in. Just take it in a little bit. So why am I doing that? You see this end is touching this end here, this diagonal here. So I'll allow this to touch this. So if I use this guy this way, take a small better one, yes. So I can just touch this from here. Let's see which one is better. You can just take this one. You see that? So that's what we have there. Now we've successfully completed this section here. Now the next thing we're going to do is to come to the other end here, right? So let's see. If you look closely on that figure there, you'll discover that the same thing is being applied, right? We're given the same measurement there, but what we'll do, we'll just so it's still the same thing, right? But the difference is from this point here, right? We said diameter is 70, so let me bring out that shape out, right? Let me bring out what? The shape out from here to here. Let's bring this out. And close it up this way. I'm bringing that out, right? And the next thing is, well, we brought out the 10 out, and what I'll simply do is get the center of this shape here. That again, get the center of this shape from this point. Bring that out. The same thing that we did here, we're going to do it because it's a symmetrical object, right? So I'll just repeat the same feat that I did here. So in this case, I don't have to stress myself, right? I'll just bring out the shape. Let me bring out all the shape out. You see what will happen. Like I said, from this point is the 52, right? This is the center of the circle. I'll just mark the center of the circle here. So it means that from here to here will be thickened. You see that? To be thickened. And from here to here also will be thickened. Just trying to reduce the amount of lines I will have, right? And similarly, we'll just start doing the main business. So I can just bring it down a little bit. Then I'll connect here to here, this to this, outside one, and the other inner one, this to this. You can see that. So to get the center, this is actually our center here. From here to here is our center. These two lines are our center. Just draw it this way. So those 2 points are the center, right? And the next thing we'll just do is to complete the figure that we have here. Let me bring that down. Then close it up. I don't really have to stress myself. I'll just draw my diagonal. Diagonal from this point to this point. Don't have to stress myself. Draw this diagonal from this end to draw this diagonal too. Now if you're wondering when I choose this end, what I did here, that is what I'm still doing here. I'm repeating the same feat, but I don't want to choke here with lines like this, so I'll be transferring the point. So when I move this from here to here, this point, this other bigger line, you see, I'll transfer this point to this point and also to this point, right? So if I close it up here and here and just close them up, I have my reason. So I close them up, so it's giving me that shape I have there. So what I'll just do is where will the arc actually end? If you look closely, I'll transfer all the points. Since I have done this, I can just bring this down, just not to cause too much problem. I'll just take this down and this down to across the center line. So I just brought this down to get where I really want. So if you place your compass at this end here, right, from the center point here to this end here, be able to get this. Let me rearrange this well. You see that? And I can take it to this end here, to this point. You see that? I'll do the same thing here too, from this point to this point. So I'll stop at this inclined line here. You can see that? And I will close here up. You can see? So we've done this. What I'm stopping here is this figure here is blocking this diagram here. So that's why I'm just stopping this arc to stop at this point, just as it is shown in the diagram you can see, right? Now we have this circle here. We are still seeing that same circle at this point here. So what I will just do is I'll start. This is just only the smaller one, the drill, because this you see in here is not going through. It's a 5 mm in, so this is the only thing I'm going to circle. We are told is a drill. That's the only point I am going to transfer, right? So I'll just take the distance from here to here. You can see that, and I'll place it here. Right? I'll mark up. I'll mark down to the left, and also to the right. So just close that up with the help of my instrument. If I do it this way, and this way, and close it up, then here too, you can see that. So what I'll just simply do here is to draw my drill here, and here too. So they are meeting here. So I'll put in that circle out. Let's see. So I can just use my French curve just to save time. You can see. You can also use a French curve here, but you must be very careful when you're working with that. Right? So I can just use this way. Can see that? And there's a drilling. So the drill I'll be using should just be this. Right? This is what we have there. So we've got that particular shape that you see there. Now the next thing that we are going to be doing is discover that from here to here is also ticking. So I'll just take in that aspect of taking it out. Right? So I don't want to take in this because of this 20-meter high figure that we have here. We'll do that. It is centralized since we are not given the true distance. So to be at the center. So to get the center of this figure, it's as simple as this. Just draw a diagonal from this end to this end, and from this end to this end, right? So where they meet is the center of the figure, right? So at that point, I'm going to get the center diagonally. So this is the center here, the center there. This is where the center is. You can see that. Now we're given the diameter of the boss. You see here is 20 millimeter high and 48 millimeter in diameter. So I'll take half of 48, which is 24 on my meter rule, which is what? 24 on my meter rule this way, and this is 24 here, right? And I'll place at the center point. So I'll also be needing this. I've not drawn that. Let me tell you how to do that to guide me. Just if a line, I'll go through it this way, this way. I see the line. So the 24 millimeter here, I'll place it here, and I'll mark this level, this side, here, and here. So I'll make it form a box. Make it form a box. This is forming this box. This is forming this box. And at this point I mark, I'm closing them up. So this will be closed up to this point. So we have here and here. Similarly, I'll close here too. So we have this line coming from here. We have here and we have here too. So this is the box I'm actually formed. So this point you see here. So I'm focusing on this line here. Right? Just follow the point and this line here, here, and so on and so forth. So what are you not expecting? These guys will go up 20-meter high. I already have the shape here, but to be on the safer side, 20-meter high. Let me just take this up. Right? Take this up too. Take this up. And take this up too. So I'll measure that 20-meter high. That we were told will be happening there, 20-meter high. Right? So this is 0 to this 20-meter high here. You can see that. And I'll just close them up. And I'll close it up. And I'll close it up. Then this also. This is what we have. All this we have. Let me just bring them out so we have a clearer view of them. So you see that I brought out that shape out. So first of all, I want to draw that shape. Just the way we've been doing right from the beginning. Ordinate method. You join this diagonal together. You can see that. So when you draw the diagonal together, the next thing that we're having here, don't forget, is I'll project this up. I need this point here. And I also need this point here, including this point here. Right? So let's close them up. Right? Thinking about this. And this. All together. So I have this, I've done that. And diagonal is using at this point here. I have this. This is the center of the figure here. So don't get confused, please. This is the center of the figure here. We're just using our ordinate method here to get our circle. So if I just place it here at this end to this end, I'll be having my first circle. Right? Out there. Also, can place at this end here to achieve the same height from this end to this end here. Then the next one is this here that we've not done. From this end, take it to this branch here where it meets. And from this end, take it to this branch here where it meets. So they're meeting at this point here. Then I'll place it here to get this curve here. You see that? Come here also, do the same thing here. So I can bring this out this way. That's what we have here. I've brought it out, right? Now the next thing that we're doing is to transfer this point downward. We'll have the same curve that we're having down. So we'll draw the same diagonal here to this end. You can see that, the same diagonal. Transfer the point down this way. This point here. That give us this point, that give us this arc. Transfer it down. And also this one too. Transfer it down. You can see that. So we'll do the same thing. So what I'll do is take my compass. I'll place it at this end here. Right? Take it to this end and I'll draw this faint line. Just stop here. You can stop at this point. You don't have to complete it. Right? Similarly, I'll come here too. I'll do the same thing from this point. It's giving me this. You can see that. Giving me that. So that's from here. Just stop at diagonal. Here. You see that? And from the end here, take to this point and you do the same thing. You see that? So I'll just join from this point to this point, my rule, and from this point to this point with my rule. You see that? Then I can easily, just to save time, I can just close this one up here, and also come here and close it up. So we'll be having so the next thing, if you check, we have this inscription written here that says the counter bore is 28 millimeter diameter and 20 millimeter deep. So the same height as this, right? So I'll measure another one, 28 millimeter, which will be 14 each. So I'll take my meter rule and I'll measure 14, right? I'll measure what? 14. But before that, I need to draw a line that will pass through the center of the circle this way, this line here. Let me just draw a line through it to be able to differentiate, right? And here too, another line that maybe for it to be differentiating. That's what we're focusing on. So I'll now measure the 14. This is 14, 0, 10, 14, right? And I'll place it at the center here. I'll mark up, left, down, and right. Then I make it from my box this way and this way and this way. And this way. Right? To having this way. So I've gotten that box I need. So I'll now draw out the circle. But before that, I'm going to take my meter rule. I'll draw a line from here to this point. Another line from here to this point. So where they are meeting here will be where I'll start drawing my circle from. So from this point, take it to this end, connect, right? From the other point too, do the same thing too, to this end. Just place it here. Connect it. Then from here to this point, we have this. And from here to this point, you connect it. We have in this. Right? Let's put it here. Now I can bring that out this way. So this is what we have, right? So the next thing is we have a drill 18 millimeter through. So we actually have a drill in. So you measure, don't forget the same level. It is 20 millimeter in. At this same point, I'll measure, right? So let's just do that and see. You just pick up your compass and you measure from this center here to the center here. You can see that. And you come to the center here. You mark here and also mark this height here. So that is where, since I said it is the same distance in, right? 20 meter high. So I'll just take my French curve that will help me out, right? And I can just easily help myself out here. Take it to those 2 points I marked here. You can see that. And I'll just draw this. You can see that. Then I'll just draw that to show in. Then we're giving drill in. So I don't have to just trace myself with all this. The drill is 18, we're giving 18 millimeter drill, and it's so small that I can just use my French curve and just get a small part there. Just a small part. right? This small part in this way, just to save all the time and stress. So what you can see here, we've successfully reproduced the figure that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen in isometric projection. So if you know you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.